Yesterday, I was coming back from the community backyard, and I saw the neighbor across the street right here. The neighbor the neighbor over there, I think, not here, the next section. I saw a neighbor watering the water. So he was like shooting the water to the next section of the house. I said, oh, it's nice of you watering your neighbor's plants. He said, like, oh, it's my landlord. It's my landlord. I'm the landlord's flower. So we had a little chat. And so I said, where the landlord is from? And he said, the landlord is from Croatia. I said, oh, actually, now first time meeting someone from Croatia in my neighborhood. So Croatia is a little country in East Europe. So I was there. I was invited by Croatian government when I was Dr. Wang. I was there. It's like across the water from Italy. And so Zagreb, I was in Zagreb. So I told him about my work. And so when I told him about, like I give a speech at the National Press Club, right? And so his idea is very much similar to mine. He was like, oh, this world is in big trouble. And the children, they like communism. He said, like my kids, right? He said, my kids, when I talk to them about communism, they were like, oh, Dad, you're outdated. Communism is good stuff, right? Like you're old timer, right? Your mind is lagged behind. Our new generation consider communism, socialism are pretty good, right? So he was very upset, right? And he said, oh my God, I cannot talk to them anymore. My children, they love communism, socialism, right?
Now I got the
So many young New Yorkers, they like communism,
Yeah, but many New York big company, they moved from New York to another state.
Yeah, because of communism.
Yeah,
mayor.
Mayor.
Because the mayor is doing taxation of over 45%. 45% taxation rate for the rich. So the rich people decided that if you're gonna rob us, we're not going to give anything to the New York, right? New Yorkers. So they leave, they escape, right? They don't want to stay in New York anymore, So it's a big problem because, the people who truly are able to do good business here, when it's under communism, socialism, they decided that there is no business here. So they're going to go, right? So New York is going to be suffering some very bad time because of the communist mayor. So he said, people do not even want to care about politics because politics is so dirty. So when people vote, those good people, they don't want to go vote because they don't believe in politics. So ended up all those communist, socialist mayor, they took advantage of the situation. And then, they are elected, right? So many of the people who have lost interest in the government and consider government is corrupt.
Yeah, but like this.
And they don't want to vote anymore.
They go to another mayor.
Yeah, so basically,
They must select the mayor.
This man says, it's a problem because the people losing interest in politics, but then the bad guys got the opportunity to take over. Yeah. So I said to him, what do you think? Do you know what is the reason that the world is becoming so dark? I said, do you know the reason? He said, I know. He said, it's called end of the time. Yeah. So yeah, I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I pray a lot. He said, I believe in Jesus. I pray a lot. And I think this is called end of the time. So yeah, he's very like he's very clear-minded. Everything I speak to him, we're almost like sharing the same view, right? Yeah. So then I told him about my work, right? I said I made a diagnosis. I said, do you know why, America economy is in big trouble? Before Trump took over, America was almost completely ruined, right? I said it's because of CCP. I said, if you look at what you wear, all the clothes, all the shoes, all the bags, you look at the label, it's called Made in China, right? So why everything is made in China? Does that mean that the Chinese are doing super good? I said, no. It's because those people who make those products, they work 18 hours and they're being paid $5 a month. So $5 a month for 18 hours of labor each day. I said, can you imagine American workers can compete with that kind of situation, right? There's no way, right? So that's why I said that's why, it's called a malignant cancer. China has turned into, the CCP-controlled, CCP-triggered malignant cancer. And the normal cells cannot compete with that kind of system. So that's why I said on October 21st, my son's birthday, I was giving a speech in 2002. And I said, communism triggers the cancer, right? And if we do trade with communist China, it is like feeding the blood to a malignant cancer to encourage its growth and also encourage its metastasis. And you know what he said? Wow, right on, he said, right on. 2002, you already make those diagnoses, but he said, they probably want to try to kill you. This guy immediately know what's the consequence of speaking up the truth, right?
Yeah, communism, they want to,
So that was the reason after I finished the speech, went back to Seattle, the first thing was that Mr. Allen was already go crazy, right? He went already crazy, right? So, human mind is easily manipulated by the invisible devil. There is invisible forces controlling people's mind. If someone has selfish, like Shim, right? If someone has some kind of selfish agenda, you cross here. That person will easily be manipulated by the devil. So Mr. Allen was basically possessed by the devil. He became like vicious, right? And so that was basically the reason I could not finish the book. The guy from American, government think tank, he said, here is my card. Go back and please publish the book, right? And the first thing that Dr. Wang was facing immediately went back to Seattle was that she was surrounded by evil entities. The husband turned evil, parents turned evil, brother turned evil, neighbors turned evil, and the workplace turned evil. And she was like, this little girl sitting, meditating, and she was surrounded by wolves, right? There was this painting that this little girl sitting there meditating, and besides her, it's all wolves, right? Try to eat her up.
In this time, the communism triggers cancer and cure, the book.
Yeah.
The communism, China, CCP, they see the book. And what they think,
Mrs. Shim,
they want to attack
do you know what's the difference between now and the time of 2002? You know what's the difference? What's the difference?
The President Trump.
No. The difference is me. Okay? I'm no longer the Tongwen 2002 Tongwen. Because, they did everything to Dr. Wang, right? Right? The father, the mother, the brother, the husband, the son, the neighbors, the friends, the colleagues, and then everybody, they went through the test, right? So the storm, like towards Dr. Wang today is over. So this world, right? If you want to do something, for example, like you, right? When you want to do work with me, and you basically had to encounter a storm. First, Mr. Song, right? Then Shendadao people, and then your wife, right? I mean, they all comes out to say no, right, to your choice. And when you are settled with your heart, you decide on what you really want to do, those people back out, right? Those people back out, right? So that's the only difference, because you have to go through it. So CCP, the CCP is as vicious as in 2002. As a matter of fact, they are even more, in a way, exposed, like before 2002, right? The world doesn't even see the viciousness of CCP, right? Because Jiang Zemin was like invited into Bush's ranch house, and he was considered to be, we're gonna talk about peacefulness, friendship, and trade, right? So at the time, CCP was viewed by the whole world to be, just normal. Like the world doesn't recognize it as malignant. At that time in 2002, CCP was considered to be a normal, right? And also powerful. And America want to have friendship with CCP. Back then, 2002. Definitely the whole world were trying to embrace CCP for business. The year of 2002 was really the beginning of metastasis. The CCP tried to sneak into every nation for doing business, right? But now, in 2026, the whole world knows the CCP is a cancer. That's also the big difference, okay? Trump talks about the CCP is the cancer, right? And now, no longer about having good relationship with China. We're talking about, the opponent, right? So Communist China now is already exposed to be the opponent, right, of America. And then people start to know that, okay? So what I mean is that right now it's totally different from 2002. In the 2002, the world was all, in asleep. The world is asleep, right? But right now the world is waking up, right? So that's very different. And for 2002, Dr. Wang was just a little bud. Like, she was just budding out, right? The truth she sees, right? And the whole environment was wintertime, right? So it's very difficult for her to grow, It was all winter, right? And right now it's about to be spring, right? Not spring yet. It's still very dark, very, very dark, right? But, this is the time that, it's like the turning season. The season is changing, right? Yeah. The season is changing. And that's the reason, at this point, the book is now ready to come out, right? That's why at the time of 2002, the book was never able to come out. Because it's surrounded by enemy,
Trump institution and the communism is cancer, right? Several,
Yeah, but do you know where Trump got that message?
No.
Do you know where Trump got that message? If you trace it, if you trace the cancer phenomena and the link to communism, Dr. Wang was the first. Dr. Wang first talked about cancer and link it to communism, right? And then Epoch Times published it, right? And then eventually that idea was incorporated into the powerful 9 commentaries, 九评共产党, 9 commentaries on Communist Party. And the 9 commentaries on Communist Party right now has caused, awakened almost like 460 million Chinese people, right? So that book, the idea of, how CCP triggers a cancer was in the book of 9 commentaries on the Communist Party. And that idea, 九评共产党, and that idea was based upon Dr. Wang's speech. Yeah, so the whole diagnosis regarding communism is a cancer, the person who did the diagnosis first, the whole world, was Dr. Wang. And that was October 21st, 2002. That makes this book stands out. This book stands out as a historical landmark that Dr. Wang was the first in the human world to diagnose that communism triggers human society cancer. Yeah. So that's why this book, called Communism Triggers Cancer and the Cure, is very powerful. It is really, symbolize something big, very big. Yeah.
But after publishing the book, the CCP, they watch you again, right?
No, Mr. Shim. The CCP has been watching us.
Yeah.
Never stopped watching us, okay? It's not like they're gonna watch me again. They have been watching the whole Elephant Institute all the time. I mean, never stopped. And you know that because our car got stolen twice, right? And all the stuff got disappeared, right? And I could not have any place to stay. In the whole Flushing area, I could not find a place to stay. Everywhere I went, they tried to kick me out, right? So, CCP always try to do bad things to the people like myself, okay? So, there's one thing that you need to know. For example, Shen Yun, right? The CCP is trying to always attack Shen Yun, never stopped, right? Even this year, they tried to block Shen Yun from, the Canadian show, right? And they had bombs, hundreds and hundreds of bomb threats, right? Not only Toronto, they could not, they got threatened and then they canceled the show. But the whole world didn't cancel the show, right? And eventually Toronto still had the show, right? What I mean is that, CCP will always try to make some trouble, but that's not gonna block us. For example, the book, right? Once the book comes out, maybe, there will be a certain CCP entity want to do something about it.
Yeah.
They maybe try to make some trouble about publishing it. You know what I mean? They may try to block it from, they may try to block the book from entering China. Like when we make the Chinese version, right?
Yeah.
The Chinese people want to buy it, right? And the CCP probably try to make trouble and don't let the Chinese people buy it. Maybe they will try to do that, right? But we're gonna be able to expose it, right? When the CCP do illegal things, right? I mean, this is freedom of speech, right? So publishing a book is called a freedom of speech, right? So when the CCP try to block the publication of the book, let's say, right?
I think
or to try to make trouble.
They are 100%, they are prohibited because the communism triggers
Cancer. Yeah.
That's why,
So the CCP, definitely the worst of the worst, they will be very scared, right? Correct? When they see the book, they will be very scared, right? Yeah. But you cannot, just because of that, you worry about it, right? You need to do the work, Because when you speak the truth, you have to, understand that heaven is on your side. The Creator is on your side, right? So once you know that, you have nothing to be afraid of. Don't be afraid of the CCP. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Not only the communism, 그리고 cancer.
Okay.
All the world countries, they are suffering from cancer. What do you explain that? You understand me?
Okay. I will tell you, right? For example, if someone has a brain cancer, like someone have diagnosed to have a brain cancer, right?
Yeah, brain cancer.
Then the whole
breast
body,
cancer.
the whole body of that person is not feeling good, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So if you have like China, right now, China, many Chinese people, they start to follow communism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each person is like a cell, right? So when that person believes that communism, socialism is good, right?
Yeah.
That person's behavior is anti-divine, anti-tradition, anti-morality, and therefore that person is behaving like a social cancer cell, right? Agree? Yeah. So in this whole world, Chinese people, they got brainwashed by the CCP. So many of them become CCP-triggered cancers, right? But in America, like those young students in campus, that they learned, the modern so-called notions and, Western variants of communism, right? That we label them as the leftists, right?
Mm-hmm.
The leftists, they are also cancer cells of the Western society.
Yeah.
So right now,
How-
not only China has cancer, but also all over the world.
Yeah.
You already see many human cancer entities because their mind is poisoned and are being controlled by evil ideologies.
Yeah.
That's why the whole world is suffering from a cancer, right? So that's why the whole human world is in great danger, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's what you are talking about.
I
you know?
mean,
Communism.
Yeah, communism.
Communism,
and the
not
evil mind triggers cancer.
No, but
Everyone is everyone
look,
understanding.
no, Mr. Shim. Communism right now in the whole world is the greatest evil mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all the evil ideas, you will see that the most vicious one is the communist ideology. Okay?
Yeah.
A person, right? If a person has jealousy mind, right? It's not called a cancer cell. Okay. A jealousy mind, an angry mind, deceptive mind itself is not going to turn the person into a vicious person. But what really turns a person truly into vicious is the communist ideology of anti-God, anti-tradition, anti-morality. That is the difference. That's why I keep on telling you that in this whole community education, in terms of moral education, the most critical topic right now actually is supposed to be letting the Korean people know about the viciousness of communism so they will not be a supporter of communism. Okay?